Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I wanted to jump back on here today and be back and have a good conversation with you. I hope all is well. I hope everybody's doing well, and I'm doing well. Have no complaints. I realize complaining don't change anything, but I wanted to come back on and chat with you guys today. And today, it just really just get on here and chat with you guys, have a good discussion. And I think not only that, I think this is it's more informative in nature, but I want to have a discussion about Alabama Open Records Act. And it's very imperative that we have that discussion. But I hope everybody doing well, man. The weather real nice. Not only the weather nice, it's just good to be back in the great state. I hope everybody is enjoying themselves, and I'm looking forward to get some good food. Give me some good food in the day. But with all that being said and done, just wanted to come on here today and have a discussion. I've been going live talking about some things, and I wanted to continue to provide and raise awareness. Like I said before, that is all I've been doing. That's been the number one focus: to raise awareness, to call out buffoonery, especially political buffoonery, and things that have been going on, particularly in the Black Belt region of Alabama, but more particularly in Perry County, just but lately. But man, yesterday, was able to be at the, was in Marion yesterday. Was at the courthouse when I went live yesterday afternoon. And the situation that happened after that is, and I shared a little bit last night when I came back on, but one of the main situations that happened from that was I went and that's what led me to this discussion right now, about the Alabama Open Record Act. Now, Alabama, well, I just wanted to say this. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna get it full background. Said a little bit last night, but I'm gonna talk about it today. Yesterday, I went in and I went to see the chairman, to the office of the chairman, Albert Fitzgerald Turner, in the Perry County Courthouse. Before I got off my live yesterday afternoon, I said I was going to go in and inquire about information on how to like a public records request. That's what I said I was going to do. So after I went on my live, after I got on my live yesterday afternoon, I went to the office of the chairman. And when I went in there, I asked the lady that was in there, and I inquired about what are their requests for public records request procedures. What are those procedures? And I was informed, and I'm just gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. I made a post this morning on my page about 4 hours ago. If you go to it, you can go to it and read it. I also have a real good infographic on there that tells people with timelines, everything. But the question that I rose this morning, and I said, does the Freedom of Information Act covers county and local governments in Alabama? And I said, on February the 12th, 2026, I went to the Perry County Courthouse to ask how to request public records procedures from the Perry County Commission. First, I went to Chairman Albert Fitzgerald Turner's office and asked about the steps to request records. Someone there told me to go talk to the county administrator, Miss Beverly Gordon. When I went to Miss Gordon's office and explained what I needed, she told me to talk to Chairman Turner. I told her I had just came from his office and they sent me to her. Miss Gordon then called Chairman Turner. He asked what kind of records I wanted. I said things like invoices, contracts, bids, and proposals. After the call, Ms. Gordon told me that Chairman Turner said I had to write a letter requesting records under the Freedom of Information Act. I went back to Chairman Turner's office and told him that the Freedom of Information Act applies to federal government offices, not the local county government. I also told him that the law for Alabama counties is the Alabama Open Records Act. Right? And that's the summary that I gave. But the little add on to it, when I later asked him, do Perry County have a written policy that governs, that address Open Records Act? And he said no. He said Perry County follows the Freedom of Information Act, which I already told you that it doesn't apply to local government, local and city governments, but the Alabama Open Records Act do. And then he said that that they follow, Perry County don't have a written policy, but they follow the Freedom of Information Act and the Alabama Open Records Act. And he said I would need to do a written request to request the records. Now, I did tell him, I said, you know, I said, Chairman, you do know I know what the Alabama Open Record law says, right? And then so I and I said this, and I said, also, you know, you're not going to respond to my letter. And his response was, well, why are you submitting it? Why are you submitting it? And I said, because I'm working, I said, because I am doing the work for the good people of Perry County. Right? Now, I want to give you guys a little bit more detail and context so we can be educated on the Alabama Open Records Act. This is not in no way mean to be any legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, right? But I can read. And I did some research even before, but I did some further research yesterday, and I provided more context so people can understand the Alabama Open Records Act, right? Now, before I get into that, I do want to explain this, right? The Alabama Open Records Act, and this is why this information is so powerful. The people need to understand, and I'm speaking to the community, the people need to understand everything, every single thing that goes on in the city and in the county is your information. It's not, it's your information. It's not, they can hide it from you, right? Most politicians don't want to give you that information because most of them don't feel like you deserve to have it, right? But Alabama have laws in place that they adopted. The last modification was in 2024 about the Alabama Open Records Act. Now, here goes a second. Like I said, below is a breakdown. Hey Pam, how you doing? Below is a breakdown. First question is, does the Freedom of Information Act covers county and local governments in Alabama? And the answer is, the Freedom of Information Act is a federal law, which means it mainly works for U.S. government federal offices. It does not apply to Alabama counties, cities, or local government offices. So Chairman Turner telling me that the Freedom of Information Act for a county government in Alabama, that was wrong. And I'm highly disappointed since he is since he allegedly got a law degree from Thurgood Marshall's law school, that he didn't understand that difference, right? When I went in to inquire about, I just went in and inquire about how do I request records. That's what I did, right? Now, and I have the link on that where you can go and you can see it goes to the Freedom of Information Act, and you can go and read that in depth yourself. Now, the other thing, so if you want records from an Alabama county or city, you use Alabama Public Records Law, often called the Alabama Open Records Act. This law says people can usually look at or get copies of many government records like papers, reports, email, contracts, and invoices. What I want the community to know is that you have a right to look at all of that stuff. You have a right to look at it. You have a right to make copies of it, and you have a right to request it for anything that's dealing with the county government. What people forget many times is because the politicians get comfortable because we as a community, we become apathetic and we allow apathy to come in, that we don't really care. We don't get involved. We say, oh, it don't bother me, blah, blah, blah. That's why these folks do whatever they want to do. That's why you see the conditions of it in the way that we have, because we become complacent and we just blindly put our trust in people who clearly aren't doing the right thing. And if they was actually doing the right thing, it wouldn't be hard to show receipts. Now, y'all know I like to deal with facts. Y'all know I have demonstrated that I deal with facts. I've demonstrated that I deal with things as far as in an organized and structured manner. And you just telling me something without providing me the actual something that could reference, I'm just not going to trust you, right? I'm just not going to trust you. The other thing is, who can ask for records in Alabama? Alabama law is mostly for Alabama residents. Mostly for, right? So let me explain that. A government office can ask you to show proof you live in Alabama, like an Alabama driver's license or voter registration. They have the right to do that. Now, this is the thing. That is why it's so important for local governments, the county and local governments, to have a written policy, because they can outline certain things. The problem is when you just saying it, just say, if I submit one, and I'm gonna let y'all know right now, Albert, just for political shenanigans, I'm not going to submit my request until I officially become a resident at the end of this month. Probably won't be the end of this month. It'll probably be the beginning of January, around about the beginning of March, around about March 3rd. After I move, it'll be over. I'll be coming in over weekend. But the first thing smoking that Monday, Tuesday, I'm going down there and I'm registering my vehicle. I'm registering to vote. I'm doing all of that. So then when I am officially a returning resident of the state of Alabama, then you can't turn around and try to deny me because of that. I just want you to know I'm aware of you now, my boy. So all the little political shenanigans that you want to try to pull, you won't be able to do it, because I will be an Alabama resident. And when I get my license, when I get my registrations, when I go there, I'm going to document everything and I'm going to show the world that I actually did it. So you can't come back and be like, he ain't no, he an outsider. He an outsider. He ain't no resident. So just want you to know that. Just want you to know that. Are there any limits? Yes, there are limits. Some records can be kept private or partly covered up, redacted, if another law says they should be protected, like certain private information and sensitive records. Now let's get into that. That's a whole thing. When you're talking about certain stuff being redacted, what the law said, when you go read the law, it gives examples of if it put the public at safety at risk. Like you could go, let me get the blueprint of the jail. What you need the blueprint of the jail for? They can deny you on it because they can say, okay, you may be using that for X, Y, and Z, right? If it's something about, the gas lines and all this stuff, you can literally request anything, but they'll start to look at you funny, right? Right. So, but yeah. Kato, yeah, Alabama's still my home of records, but I haven't been a resident of the state of Alabama, because I haven't lived there in, over 20 years, right? But even with that, I'm not even going to chance it, because I know when people are in opposition for you, what they like to do is try to use and find things that they can exploit. But I ain't that one. I'm gonna be in compliance, my boy. Be in compliance. Now, another question is, does the Alabama Open Records Act require a letter to request records from county government? Yes. In Alabama, a county can tell you that you must ask for records in writing, like a form or letter. Here's a simple version. A county can make written rules for how people ask for public records. Perry County does not have a written policy of rules, right? Now, I just shared not too long before I came on, the city of Montgomery got a whole website that you click on, and they got all of the, they got fees that they, whatever fees, what you're requesting for, and they got an online request form that you can request, and they got timeline. I'm going to go over most of that stuff, but I just want to tell you, they already have that set up. So no, you're not sitting there trying to figure it out. They already have it set up, and it's online that the people can ask. Other thing, if the county has written rule, they don't have to answer a request that doesn't follow their rules, right? So, but Perry County don't have written rules. So Perry County by default follows the Alabama Open Records Law. Alabama Open Records Law recommend that people submit a written request. So obliged by that, and you can move forward. Now, one thing I do want to hit on is you can request records from any county level entity, not just the commission. You can request records from the Sheriff Department, the Revenue Commission, the probate judge. You can request records from all of that. So it's not just the commission. I want to bring clarity on that so people can have an understanding of it. Now, this is where it started to get good, right? Um, they say if a county does not have written rules, then the usual way to act is by hand delivering your request or mailing it, which is still basically a written request. They said what you should do. You should ask the county clerk or county administrator, what are your public record request procedures? And do you have a form I must see? That is what I did yesterday. Come to find out, Perry County didn't have a written procedure or protocol, but I just wanted to share that. And then the other thing is that even if they don't require it, send your request in writing anyway. Email plus hand delivering or mail is even better, so you can have proof. The one thing about it is you want to make sure you have documentation, because I'm not only going to write a letter requested, I'm going to write a letter to every commissioner. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write a letter to my commission. That's going to be Commissioner Lewis, who's going to cover District 5. District 5 covers majority of Uniontown, almost all of Uniontown. So he's going to be my commissioner, right? I'm going to email him a request. Also email a request to every commissioner on the Perry County Commission. You know why? Because I'm requesting the information from the commission, and the chairman himself don't have unilateral authority just to deny it. There has to be a decision made by the commission. So Albert, before you want to play your shenanigans, I already warned you that I was going to be requesting the records. So if you want to play that, I'm sending it to the commission. So every last, and I ain't gonna get ahead of myself. I'm gonna keep reading because I'm gonna show y'all why, right? If your request be clear, in your request, be clear about what you want and include what records you want, like invoices, contract bids, right? The date you want, example, January 2024 to December 2025, right? The particulars, and I'm finna show y'all this one, the particulars that you want to ask or what you're looking for. For me, I want a copy of the contract for the COVID-19 treatment facilities to the Perry County Jail, known as the James Hood Detention Center, from this date to this date. Like, that's what I'm gonna ask. One of the things I'm gonna ask for, right? Like the third question is, what is the response timeline for the Alabama Open Record Act to the public? Now, this is where this thing get good at. Right? Starting in October the 1st, 2024, Alabama changed its public records law. Now officials have real deadlines to answer records requests, not just whenever they can. They actually have a deadline that they have to follow, right? These rules are in Alabama Code 36-12-44. Now, Albert, I told you yesterday, I know what the law said, but what I'm doing right now is I'm taking this information, packaging it up, to inform the people so that they can raise awareness in the community and people can understand what rights they have and what the actual Alabama law say. So we don't have elected officials just kicking the can down the road and never providing the information. I know a lot of people in Marion have had this issue that for years they have submitted requests for records that have gone ignored by the city clerk and the mayor. But I want everybody to understand there's laws that they have to follow, right? And here go the breakdown. If your request is regular, right, or the request that you're asking takes about 8 work hours or less, that means that, you know, you're not taking away from all the stuff that the people have to do in the office. And this is things like, let me get a copy of a contract. Let me get an invoice for X, Y, and Z. Let me get let me get the minutes. Let me get the minutes to the Perry County commission meeting. Let me get the minutes on January the 13th of 2026. Like, those are simple things that shouldn't take you a bunch of time, right? So those are the simple things, right? But then they got other things, and I want to get into it. So I had somebody trying to call, and but I will call them back after this live, right? Now they must reply to you. This is the timeline. They must reply to you and say that they got it. They must acknowledge receipt within 10 business days. So for example, if I submitted my request today, then 10 business days would be, you got 5, next Friday will be 5, and the Friday after that will be 5. So 2 Fridays from now, they will have to reply back to me in writing saying that they received the request. That's 10 days, right? Then they must give you the records or say no within 15 business days after they say they got it. So basically, they got 5 weeks to reply with the information, or they have to reply to say no. Now, when you do simple requests, like, and this is why it's important, right? This is why it's important. And I want the community to understand this. When I submit my request at the beginning of next month, and I'm asking for a contract for X, Y, and Z, that's something that's very simple. They got 2 weeks to reply back. Then they got another 15 business days to send the information. If they deny me asking for a contract, that's something that's not going to stand up, because why are you not giving that contract? You see what I'm saying? Now, if you got some crazy requests, let me see all of the records from 2020. I want to see everything Albert Turner voted on since he came into office in 2000 until now. That would be considered a time-sensitive one, and they got the timelines drastically changed with that, and they can charge you fees to provide that information, right? They can ask more time. They can ask for an extension for 15 more business days. They can ask for an extension, right? But they got to put that in writing. The reason why they put it in writing is you're going to have the records. You're going to know, and they're going to have to provide a paper trail to you so you can know what's going on. So you can keep extending it thinking that you're getting out of it, but now they're going to show that why you requested 30 business days to provide a copy of a contract. Y'all see that? So that if they choose to do that, you got ways you can hold them accountable. Right? If you say that your request is a time-sensitive big request, right? The same timeline for notification is 10 days, 10 business days, right? But then they must tell you it's time-sensitive within 15 days. So my recommendation to you guys is, if you do a records request, that you don't go in and you do, one records request to try to tackle 30 different things. No, you go in and you set it up to like 2 to 3 things they can get you, and just break that up. Because now that will mitigate them saying that it's time sensitive. And the reason why I'm saying that is, these are the timelines. If it's time sensitive, instead of 15 business days, they must give you the records or deny the request within 45 business days after you say you still want it. Right? Right? And then they can say that, so the timeline go from 15 days to 45 days, and then they can request another 45 days. Right? And then they can just keep kicking that can down the road. But I just wanted to provide you guys with this information so we can get that straight. Because Albert, I told you, my boy, I told you that I already knew the law, and I told you to your face. I told you to your face that, Albert, you know that I know the law. Right? And then, Albert, I know you watching, but I'm asking for those receipts. And not only am I asking for the receipts, I want people to understand this, right? This is what the community needs to know. And one thing, the community, as a community, we got to stop waiting just for somebody else to do something for us. Start to take a little bit of time and invest into it. The reason why Perry County looked the way that it is, because we as a community have allowed the community to, as a community, we have allowed these elected officials to get away with stuff. And I hope y'all see what accountability does, what things are actually happening, right? We can't get apathetic and just wait and hope somebody else do something for us, right? No, accountability, that's what we got to do. Hold people accountable. And this information, if you go to my page under that post I did this morning, you will see that I did a infographic of a timeline. And that timeline shows you what those things are. So with Perry County, how you doing, Bobby Davis? With Perry County, they don't have a written policy, right? I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna draft a policy, and I'm gonna submit it to the commission to see if they want to adopt it, right? I'm gonna use the city of Montgomery's what they had, have recommend some fees that be tied to it, and then have that policy signed by the commission, and then they can, they can do that. And then this is the thing with that. Not only would that cover just the county, but that can be leveraged and then shared with the city, and it will be written in a way where it says the county, and then only thing we could go in and do it for the city to say the city, and we'll have a public thing where people would know, what the projected cost would be, what all these things, and what are those timelines. So I'm going to do that and submit that to see if the county would like to adopt it for their practices. All right. Listen, the thing about it is people been complaining in the Black Belt for a long time. People been talking for years. And people say this, and y'all know I'm not lying. People say stuff like, man, why they keep getting away with it? Why they getting away with it, man? They getting away with it and nothing never happened. The reason why stuff never happens is we don't have the actual documentation or evidence or proof to show that it didn't happen. And requesting records will start connecting the dots. I promise you, if the people, wherever you at, if you in Greensboro, Utah, Aliceville, Uniontown, Marion, right? And this is the thing, keep those records. Keep those records. Because I guarantee you this. As a community collectively, just for example, Marion, because I know Marion has a long history of not replying back to records requests. Collectively, if the people come together and they got the emails, they got a copy of their letters that they sent, and they collectively come and say, hey, over the last 12 months, since 2024, 30 people have requested records from the city of Marion, and nobody has gotten a response back. This is in violation of the Alabama Open Records Act. Those are things where we can submit that to the state level, right? And because I'm just telling you, it is criminal charges that are tied to that Open Records Act law. That's a law. So people can't just do whatever they want to do. They got to provide you in writing. So let these people deny you. Let them put it in writing and for shenanigans. But guess what? That stuff is documentation. And like for me, if I get a denial letter or something, I want one from the letterhead of the county commission. I don't want it just from a county clerk or administrator. I want it with everybody's name on there, because everybody that's on the commission will be complicit. And this is not a threat. This is just letting people know this is how you handle business. This is how you handle business. Right? Because they have been so used to, just doing whatever they want to do. Now, last night I went live and I made a post in response to what Albert made a post about. Albert made a post yesterday trying to blame the other commissioners. He tried to blame them for the jail. And I would just tell you this, for me, this is just my opinion. I think that there's something else going on why he's fighting so hard to try to get that additional $250,000 line of credit. I think that is. Also, what I found alarming is yesterday when I went in the office, and I went in the office of the chairman, he was sitting in his office counting money. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a fundraiser or whatever. But he was sitting there counting money. Oh, and Jeff, if you go to my post, at the bottom of it, I got an example of how you request records. It's at the bottom of that post, right before you see some pictures. Right before you see some AI generated pictures that I own the copyright, the intellectual property to. So nobody can hit me for copyright infringement for intellectual property, like Mayor Hinton did the other day for using his official government photo. But that's a whole nother thing. But if you go to the bottom, you will see an example, and you can copy and paste that into your letter. Now, you can hand walk the letter or you can mail the letter. For me, I'm going to mail it, and I'm going to send mine certified mail. I'm going to send mine where you got to have a receipt. Somebody got to sign for it to say they received it. Keep receipts, my boy. And then, you know, that's just a way of protecting yourself. Because, you know, Albert claimed to be full for transparency and accountability, but we know that ain't true. You know, that's just something that you're trying to say for a political campaign and to get back in office. But I just want to tell you that I just want to share with people about that. I mean, because it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Look, a lot of people may not think about it. A lot of people may not look at it from this standpoint. Miss Bennett, I appreciate it. Listen, man, and like and I have to concur, Miss Johnson. You know, ancestors' worst nightmare. You know, this is the thing. I want to say this. There have been some comparisons that I've seen, and I'm gonna say it this way. There have been some comparisons that I've seen about Chairman, the Perry County Commission Chairman Albert Turner, being compared to the president. And, you know, people were saying that they act a lot alike. This is what I would say in reference to that. I'm not making a comparison to that, right? But I've heard those comparisons. What I would say is, one, I have demonstrated that I am not one of those people to pander to race, to use race as an excuse for whatever. I'm not one to support anybody that tries to do racial divide and try to stir up racial divide. I have demonstrated that that is not. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people that are. I'm partial to good people. I'm not partial to a particular race, right? I have demonstrated that. I think I've demonstrated that I'm pretty much a straight shooter, and I deal with facts, and I genuinely am fair and impartial when it comes to accountability, right? That's what I wanted to say that. But with all of that being said, on a very serious note, Chairman Turner has been representative of an oppressor within the black community in Perry County, right? I'm just letting you know, been the epitome of an oppressor in Perry County. I just wanted to say that, and you be like, okay, Robert, why are you saying that? All right, let's look at the facts, right? Let's look at the facts. And I'm finna be honest with you. I'm finna be candid and honest. I'm being as candid and honest as possible. Albert likes to, you know, stir up the racial divide through talking about Democrats and Republicans. See, that's dog whistle. He did the same thing with Brent yesterday. Commissioner Harrison trying to say, oh, he was late. He was the only, he's the only Republican on the board, and basically, you know, that's the stuff that he does, right? But Albert only comes at white people in Perry County he comes at them on social media with rhetoric. The people that things actually go against, that he actually does things for, negatively impacts African-American people. The same people that he come to and want you to vote for. It's the same people that he will go to and try to get them to do something that is not aligned with law, and then he'll turn around and throw them under the bus, but they look like black people. See, this is the thing that I want people to ask themselves. And this is the God honest truth. The Bible says you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. I can't be a lemon tree and tell you that I'm an apple. And when you taste me, you said, no, this bitter, this is a lemon tree. It's not an apple tree. But then now I come back and I attack you and say, you lying on me because I'm not accepting the fact that I'm going off what my taste buds say. Now, what I mean by that is, if Albert truly cared about the community the way that he cared, you will actually see the tangible results of it instead of the rhetoric of it. And it's all been rhetoric. See, a lot of people remain loyal to Albert because of the promise that he presented. See, his persona was, man, Albert connected, so Albert can help you get this job. You stay good with Albert and you help him with this. This is what he do. You know, so let me help Albert. Let me quote unquote allegedly let me work these absentee ballots. Let me call all of these people that I know don't live in Marion. They moved away years ago, but they still registered in there. So that's why Perry County has more registered voters than they actually have citizens. But if you go in and you do the math, they got almost 900 to 1,000 kids that's in school. That's matter of fact. Yeah, they got about 900 kids in the Perry County school, 800 and some kids in the Perry County school system that are in school. So if you factor in how many of those are actual of age 18 and registered to vote, it's probably what, 40, 30? Not only that, they probably just turned 18 and not registered to vote. So how do they at least have not have 1,000 people less that's registered to vote that's in the county? But they got like 12 more people that are registered to vote than people that actually live in the county. That's a reason why they haven't fixed that. You know, somebody shared with me that their granddaddy died 2 years ago, and they had his name at the last election, allegedly had his name in the city election down there, and for an absentee ballot. Y'all know I'm not lying. Then you got to look at, who the ones signing who's the notary republic that's signing a lot of those ballots. And they said Jeff Easley was one that was signing a lot of ballots. The Notary Republic that was signing a lot of ballots before. Now, this is facts. This right here is facts. Alabama law says that a felon is not allowed, according to Alabama law, to become a Notary Republic. Now, I also understand that pardons can be given, and if somebody pardoned about something, that means that whatever crime that they committed, it really didn't exist anymore. So if Mr. Easley received a pardon, then he is eligible to do it. But there are speculations that there was a lot of irregularities during the last election with absentee ballots that he served as the Notary Republic for. And it's already known that Jeff Easley is real in good with Albert. So that's a known thing. He be at the courthouse. That's a known thing. People know that. That's not something, if you maybe outside of Marion, then that's something new. But everybody that's in the area, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is not a shot at Mr. Easley at all. But I'm stating facts. It's a fact. It has a history of being a felon. It's a fact that he is registered as a Notary Republic. I don't know if he received a pardon. Because if you go and you request that record, you can request it. But listen, so I would have to trust that that pardon was received if he was allowed to be a Notary Public. That's why I made that post I made. Because I was talking about what Alabama law said. Right? And I just want people to understand it. Because people, no, I'm just telling, I'm speaking facts. It's nothing personal. I'm speaking facts. And the reason why I want listen, I'm going to say this. I just thought I'm going to say this. How and this is not about me. Darn sure ain't. Yep. Yep. And like I said, if Mr. Easley got a full pardon, then he is no longer considered a felon, and he has a right to do it. Right? So that's why I brought that up. And it was confirmed that he has received a full pardon. So he is allowed to do it. But that still doesn't take away from a lot of observed irregularities with absentee ballot that he served as the notary for. I want everybody to understand that. I'm very clear, being very clear on that. Right? Because I'm not one person to hold anything over anybody's head. I got family members that are felons, and I feel like, you know, that some of the rights should be restored, especially if they pays their debt to society. Right? But at the end of the day, how I feel still doesn't change law. And I was speaking directly to what the law said. So that's just something that I wanted to do that. But going back to what I was saying before that is this. I just want people to think about this. This had nothing, I'm asking a question. How many people have you seen, especially elected officials, that have spent time presenting information to people, to the community, to raise awareness so people in the community can know and have a better understanding of what the actual law said? How many? I'm going to say last 10 years. How many? How many city council members? How many county commissioners? How many mayors? Shoot, how many state senators or state representatives that you've seen spent time to try to explain to the people and break it down so they can understand it, what the actual law says, or what does this information mean, or what is this process? Similar to the information that I've tried to provide to the community. Now, if these same people can come to your church, and they can come to you, and they asking you to vote for them, but they can't come to you and provide information so you can understand what's going on, how much do they really care about you? If I say that I love you, if I say that, man, I love you, man, I love you. If I say I love you, and say that say that I love you, and I'm in real estate. I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor, and I'm a real estate investor. If I say I love you, but I see you going into a deal that dealing with real estate, but I never say anything, I never offer you any information, or never come to you and say, hey, I can assist you on this if you want it. Do I really love you if I just let you get out there and flap? Or is that just lip service? And what we've gotten, if people sit down and think about it, like just sit down and think about it, what tangible results, positive results, have you seen, particularly from Albert Turner as a Perry County Commissioner, from Dexter Hinton as the mayor of Marion, or from Ron Miller as the mayor of Uniontown? What are the actual tangible results that we see? Okay, you say Ron Miller, the mayor of Uniontown. You could say he's hired more people to work on the sanitation department. What has been reported at the meeting that I went to, that the sanitation department, they have 18 workers in the sanitation department. When I heard that, this is what made me think about it. Those 18 workers are making $9.25 an hour. Now I just did some calculations. I did 18 times $9.25 times 40. That means that those 18 workers times $9.25 an hour, times 40 hours a week times 4 weeks out of a month came up to about $26,660. That's them making $925. Now, what I did was I did the same $26,000 and I took the 18 down to 12 because realistically, the city the size of Uniontown doesn't need 18 workers to do the sanitation work. They just doesn't need them. This ain't knocking on people that getting jobs. I'm just saying about I'm going to break it down. And these are the tough conversations that people don't like to have because they say you're not being sensitive. No, I'm just looking at it from a holistic standpoint. Here we go. It was, think about this. When Mayor Jones, rest in peace to Mayor Jones, when he became mayor, he took the city sanitation numbers down to 8. It grew up to 18 under Ron Miller. Many people say that, those jobs were given out to get around the time for election so that people can see favorable, hey, I'll vote for him because he gave my family member this job. Now, remember I said they're making $9.25 an hour. Even if they work 40 hours a week, they will only, collectively, all 18 will only make $26,600. Now, I'm about to do some math real quick. Let me nerd out. $26,600 divided by 18. That's $1,477 a month. $1,477 a month times, times 12. That's $17,733. I just want everybody to know that we are paying people, 6 people, to work about $7,000 under the poverty level in the state of Alabama. Right, and I just want people. I want to just break it down so people can look at these things. Right. Yep, $26,640. That's what it is. Right. Now, if I take that same $26,640, right, instead of paying and instead of paying $9.25 an hour, if I take it down to from 18 to 12 people, now I can pay those 12 people $14 an hour instead of $9.25. Now, if I do $14 an hour times 12, not divided, Robert, times 12, times 40, that'll be the same, right? Times 4. Hold on, I'm about to break it down. $14 an hour times 40 times 4 times 12. That takes those 12 individual pay will go from $17,000 to $26,000 a year. Do you think they can handle $9,000 more a year for those workers that's working there? And what the city could do with that money is this. Say, hey, look, you sit down and you negotiate and you go to those workers and you say, hey, if we take this down, we can pay you $14 an hour, or we will pay you $10 an hour, and we will use that other money to provide benefits for you so you can get some type of health insurance or something like that. Do y'all see the difference? Now think about the quality of life difference that it would make, that now these people be making a little bit money bringing home, but now they have benefits for their families. See, those are the type of conversations we don't want to have. Those are the type of conversations that we don't have in the Black Belt. You know, and we just do things and people do things, but we don't have anybody sitting down and thinking about what is the overall best interest for the people, the workers. I just want people to just sit down and think about that. What I don't understand is, especially back to, like I'm saying, like Uniontown, right? Uniontown and Marion. What I don't understand is we have the Arrowhead landfill. I want people to understand this right here is no shot on the Arrowhead landfill. They're doing what they have to do for themselves, right? And this is on our local leaders. I did the calculations. If you go onto my page and you search landfill, a thing will pop up, and I had a full layout on how much trash that landfill took in 2024, 2025, and how much money Perry County received in 2024 and 2025. Which Perry County, based off of the number of tons of trash, Perry County should have received about $2.7 or $2.8 million in the last 2 years. Estimated, the Arrowhead landfill made $46 million in 2024 and $54 million in 2025. If you add up 46 million plus 54 million, you would get over $100 million that the Arrowhead made off of that landfill in Uniontown. Now, if you sit down and think about it, just think about this. Just think about this. Why haven't the city leadership in Uniontown went and had a conversation with the Arrowhead landfill? And Arrowhead landfill is a billion-dollar corporation. Why haven't they went and actually had a conversation about, hey, for example, I already did some research. Y'all know the cities, I'm in Demopolis right now. If you go around, they got the city trash cans where they have like Arrowhead landfill, the city of Demopolis. Based off of the number of homes that we have in Perry County and the number of accounts, it costs about $50,000 to get those. Why not? Just think about it. Why haven't we had elected officials go and talk to landfill and see what they would do, like a donation or do a matching cost so that they can do that? And watch this. That's a tax write-off because now you get Arrowhead landfill. That's a marketing tool. That's a tax write-off for them. It's a billion-dollar corporation. But you got to have leaders that's willing to go have those conversations. Only thing you have to we got 35,000 from Arrowhead. We got all them all that for you got all of that talk, but you don't have nothing that you can go back and look at. Think about it. Instead of having those cut out plastic barrels, 55 gallon drums as trash bag, you will have some trash bins that say City of Uniontown. Right? And then you can go to them, and then this is the other thing. Y'all, it's so much grants out there that the city can get new trash trucks. They can get new fire truck. They can get these things. And I said it before, you got a town of Fonsdale that has a population of 87 people, got 2 new fire trucks within the last 5 years because of the grant funding. But we right there in Uniontown, and got done funds there coming over put out fires in Uniontown. In the last, Uniontown got 1 truck in the last 20 years? What's up with the trash truck? And the thing is, everybody's just so used to it. Because it's always been that way, so no. No, I'm just telling you. And then, it was in the agreement when the landfill came. And it's an agreement when the landfill came that they set aside, they give $1 to Perry County for every ton that they take. And they give a nickel for every ton that they take to repair the roads. There's nothing listed in the Perry County budget. And I look back to all the ones that they got from 2021. There's nothing listed in there about the road repair fees that they get from the landfill. But doing the math, the landfill should have got like $65,000 in 2024 to repair the roads. and about $70-some thousand from that. Now, why that money going to the county? Now, Albert, why don't you talk about it? Because, matter of fact, I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. I'm going to show that video that's on YouTube that you said the people of Uniontown, when they talked about the, they didn't want it to come there, and they didn't want it to come there because of the toxic coal ash, and you on there talking like, the city of Uniontown got more of a, they got more of a, concern with EPA violations with the cheese plant than they have the landfill. Let me put on some chapstick that I rarely do. Yeah, oh, that feels good. I didn't know that works, but let me oh man, you got to laugh. But no, for real, when you sit down and think about it, why didn't that was negotiated back then? Albert, you talk about the art of negotiation. You talk about all of this stuff. You ain't even include any other cities and any other towns in Perry County for. Right? But you talk about how you can go get money. Everything always about you. You got an industry that makes $100 million in 2 years in Perry County. That's you said, yeah, it's in the county limits, but that's Uniontown. And Uniontown ain't getting nothing for it. And then you turn around and vote for minority truckers to keep the contract that you helped them get the truck. You awarded the contract to them. But then, and they came in $222,000 over what the city of Uniontown bid. And you ain't even trying to put no money into the city of Uniontown, but you claiming, we got a united front. We got a united front in Perry County Legislature, a coalition with the mayors. We gonna start, Albert, I hope you know, I hope you know I do read, and I got a pretty good memory. And in your Facebook post, you said, a united front in Perry County, united front. With this was right after the election, with Mayor Hinton and Mayor Ron Miller and the chairman and the vice chairman. See, that's when you thought Carlton was gonna do whatever you wanted him to do. We're gonna have monthly breakfast. We're gonna sit around and we're gonna work together. Albert, you know what you said? You said it at the Uniontown Council meeting in December, and you also said it at the breakfast, Martin Luther King breakfast. The cities, y'all got a big brother in the county. You got a big brother. If there's so much of a big brother, why didn't you give the city of Uniontown that $200,000 contract that would have greatly benefited the city of Uniontown to provide more revenue into that city? What is it so much with you and minority trucking, Albert? What is it on there? Why? What is it on that, my boy? Since you so strapped for cash, since you put out about cash, you could have saved the county $22,000 just a couple months ago. When you lobbied the council to vote minority trucking on it. This ain't nothing against minority trucking, but I'm just asking those questions. Since you said the county gifting the jailers their salary, why you ain't saved that? Why didn't you save that? And then there's another thing. I'm going to say this open and honest. I'm saying this open and honest. Yes. On the 10th, Albert lied on Coach Woody Jackson like he endorsed him. And Albert, I know you lied on Miss Thomas. Miss Sherry, I think it's Sherry Thomas, who's on the school board. I know you ain't get her permission. I know you just threw her picture and her name up there. And if you did that, that's disrespectful. And that's the stuff that you do because you don't care about nobody but yourself. You ashamed, you smelt, I ain't gonna say smelt because I haven't been up on you to smell you, but you felt small. You smelt, I keep saying smelt. You felt small because Coach Jackson called you and told you, take it down right now. And guess what, Albert? You complied. You complied the same way when Brent told you to get out his face. You complied. Albert, I'm going to see if you're going to comply when I do those records requests. I want to see it. I want to see it to believe it to see it. I want to see it to believe it and believe it to see it. Why? Because it's so important. It is beyond important. It is beyond important. And one thing I want you to know. I want you to know this, Albert. Weeping may endure for a night, but accountability coming in the morning. And the sun is shining. It's a new day. It's a new day. And Albert, why you didn't want to speak to me yesterday? I know you heard me when I spoke to you the first time. And I was just telling you, as a man, when somebody speak to you and yet they ignore you, why? Why you ignore me yesterday when I spoke to you when I was in office? Because I doubled back and looked you in the eye and spoke to you again. I said, how you doing, Chairman? Why you ain't speak to me? I told you, Albert, I spoke to you after all the stuff you done said about me, after all of the lies that you done did, after all of that, right? You doing it. And Albert, I know you watching my live right now. Somebody sent me a screenshot. They just sent me a screenshot to show you watching my live. But then why you do that? Why you going to block me from your personal page and then go watch my live from the county, from the commissioner page? Why do that? You sent me a friend request. I don't have nothing personally against you, but you just don't like accountability. And you still yet to answer me. You still yet to provide any proof. You still yet to say I lied. But you said, Albert, you sat up there at the Martin Luther King breakfast. You sat up there and you told them people that I'm trying to take your hope. People trying to take your hope. No, I'm restoring hope through facts, truth, compassion, and consistency and integrity. I know you don't know about that, right? You demonstrated the inability to exhibit any of those behaviors. Right? Like at the end of the day, I know you watching. I know you hear me. So I know you knew my voice yesterday when I spoke to you. See, what it is, this what it is, Albert. You've been so used to getting away with all of your antics and nobody called you out directly to your face on it that you couldn't control the narrative on. Albert, just so you know, I want you to know this, my boy. 4 days ago, the views on my page, it was about 1.1 million. I checked it this morning. It's almost, 1.5, 1.6 million people. They've been viewing my page. And they've been viewing the stuff about you. People are seeing who you are. They're recognizing who you are. I've been talking about your patterns and how you do things, your behavior as an elected official. I've just stayed consistent with it and showed the facts. And I'm telling you, if you post something again today and it's not factual, I'm coming with the facts. I'm coming with the facts. If you do right the first time, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. Albert, people, oh, you got something negative. No, it's not negative. Albert, when you gave the rundown, you gave a whole thing. I did a post highlighting how you talked about the courthouse annex and all that progress with that going on. But I just want to talk to you about your deception. Yesterday, this is the problem that I have. And you know you do it. You just got away with it before because nobody called it out. You went online last night and you posted from your commissioner page about it's basically saying the other commissioners are failing the community because they ain't approved the line of credit that you want. But what you're not telling people is you saying that because now I want people to just think about this. Having a line of credit has nothing to do with a bidding process. I did another post. I'm gonna reshare it so people can see it can be fresh. I did it a little bit about a month and a half ago. I did a breakdown of the timeline for a bid in the state of Alabama. If you have like a construction bid that's over $30,000, right? That has to be an open bid process. That process takes between 5 to 8 weeks. So if the Perry County Jail was shut down 10 days ago, a week and a half ago, if they got the bids out then, which they didn't because they haven't received any bids in yet, but if they got the bids out then, I'm just going, I'm gonna go the 1st of February. 5 to 8 weeks. So you got March, April. So April would be when the award would be awarded to do the fixes, right? And that's when the work will begin. Why you say in your post last night that because they didn't approve the line of credit that they're delaying work to get started on there between March and April, when that was the timeline anyway? You see that, Albert? You don't need the line of credit before contractors can do a bid and start the work. And I'm just telling you, man, it's so much lies, man, and you know you've been lying. And the reason why you scared about this paperwork, about this contracts and invoices, because you know it don't line up. And Albert, I'm just putting this out to the world. You dealt with federal money. Federal money get looked at by federal government, not by local government or state level government. You don't have those protections that people feel like that you have, or what you say you have. You got friends, and I got friends in the high places. I want to see them high places when they see this paperwork, because it's coming. Now, Albert, I know you're not I know you are intelligent enough to understand that when somebody, I know you're intelligent enough to understand that with me demonstrating my ability to be very thorough, to be very straightforward, and to provide things in a manner where it is consistent and credible, that you know that I know what I'm talking about. You also know that I know a lot more than what I say. You know that. What you're trying to do is you hoping you can play your own tactics and that things will be going away. But Albert, when I come down here as a retiree that don't have to work, I got time to come at all of the meetings. I got time to put a request in to get on the agenda. I got to do that. And then, Albert, I'll be a resident. So if you deny my request, only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and share the word that I submitted it according to what the written law said, and the chairman denied it. And the people going to want to know, why you denying Robert Shepard? Why are you denying him when he followed the rules? You see how that works, Albert? And Albert, I got a number to the news station too. Just want you to know, Albert, the news station contacted me about using the video that I posted. You're not the only one, man. I just want to take your tactics that you had before. You're not the only one. This ain't no threat. This is not a threat, right? This is a public service announcement. And I'm telling y'all, commissioners, those commissioners, hey, keep doing what y'all doing. Hold the ground on providing that until he provides y'all what y'all need. Because I'm telling you, I think, this is just my opinion, I think that may be a problem with payroll. It's something why he's scrambling trying to get that $250,000. And Albert, I got another thing. During the State of the County address that you did on Sunshine Media Group, during that address, Albert, you said that the county gave back $50,000 of that COVID money, that $200,000 of the COVID money for the jail. Now, Ab, I got a question. If that grant was a drawdown grant where you drew the money down from the state as a state level grant, how can you send back money that you drew down? I know you send back grant money that you get all the funding up at first and then you didn't do it, you send it back. But how do you send back money that you already drew down? And you know when you draw the money down, you got to have invoices and receipts for that. Hey, Albert. Hey, Albert. Albert, I know you watching. Just want to let you know this, my boy. That grant was awarded through ADECA. ADECA is a state entity that is governed by the Alabama Open Records Act. And as a soon-to-be resident of the state of Alabama, guess what I'm requesting? Every grant that Perry County has gotten, I can request documentation associated with those grants. And you have to submit those documentations to ADECA. And that's public information. So if you try to stall me out, my boy, I can just go and request. I'm a simultaneous parallel requester from ADECA. And if I get them from a state entity before I get them from the county, that's just more evidence to show that you are trying to obstruct justice. Y'all see my transition. I pulled them down. They got that sun in them. But yeah, I just want you to know, man, there's more than one ways to skin a cat. Or more than one ways to allegedly catch a crook. So I told you, Albert, I told you to your face yesterday. Now, you already knew I knew what the law said. But you trying to talk about the Freedom of Information Act, and you know that they don't pertain to local government. You lied to my face then. Like you lie to other people. And the thing is, other people take your word. I don't trust you. And the people don't trust you right now. That's why you going crazy. Folks don't trust nothing that you say. They don't trust nothing that you say. There's been people that's been supportive of you for a very long time. And those people now are retracting back because they see you for who you are in your words, not a rhetoric being spun. They see you for who you are in your words and your action, the consistency of who you are in your words and your action. They see you. But hey, it is what it is. I hope you guys have a great day, and smile and enjoy yourself. Love on your people and do right by people. Do right by people. But just know, Albert, just tell the truth. If you do a post that you don't spin it, to create a narrative and just simply tell the truth, Albert, you think I'm joking. Not only will I not fact check it, but I will praise you for it. But you got to spin it, man. You got to throw something in there. Just so. You just can't help yourself. The gift that keep on getting. Now, Albert, you still hadn't told me what size t-shirt you wear. I'll both be picking up them t-shirts tomorrow, some of them tomorrow. And I'm trying to make sure I get you your shirt. You think I'm joking? Where have I lied before? Trying to get you your t-shirt. Let me know. And then on it, you can say paid for supporters of Robert Shepard. You know, paid for. No, that t-shirt will be donated to you by the committee for the Reverend Robert Shepard Legacy Scholarship. And that'll be gifted to you from in honor of the memory from my daddy. Since you love to talk about him. Allegedly. Man, y'all have a great day. Keep laughing. Keep laughing. Do what you got to do. Keep smiling. And Now, Queen. Yeah, the person that I'm working with, they did say they go up to a 5X. So I just want to confirm the size you need so I can get it. And I know some people have inboxed me about some t-shirts. Please let me know. Price of the t-shirts are $25. But I'll be picking some up tomorrow. And I'll be available to, if you're in the Perry County area, I'll be available to get them to you. But man, you guys have a great and wonderful day. Stay happy, stay motivated, drink water. And if I've lied, if I've spoken untrue, please provide me with credible information so that I can come back and I can be as loud as I am for accountability. I'll be as loud as I am to correct myself. And because it's not about that. There's no ego associated with it, right? You guys have a great and blessed day. Talk to you later.